I guess.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've got it starting recording now. Okay, so I can edit it later.
Okay.
What's happened? Let me see. Have we still got your screen there or not?
Go ahead and start your recording, Clinton, so we can have it back up.
Okay.
You don't want to lose this.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
Blueprint?
Yeah, I love that font.
Yeah, it's a nice font. I just put that together, by the way, for you, Todd.
Yeah.
Instead of having some website up.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so right now we got how many people? 106.
107.
Yeah.
Going up.
Yeah, I just sent an email.
Right now.
Yeah, just pop it in now.
Yeah, let's wait about 5 more minutes.
Yeah. I sent an email to the Aweber lists about an hour ago, and I sent out an email to the 2 new buyers lists from the 2 last launches in the past couple of weeks. That just went out about 10 minutes ago, though.
How do I see their questions?
There should be a question.
Maybe I need to make you an organizer as well, and you can see the questions. Let me just see.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, so I'm going to make you an organizer too. Yeah, but all organizers, so you should see the questions now, I think.
I do
Good.
see them now.
Super. 116.
I don't think I've ever been in a webinar that somebody hasn't asked, is this being recorded?
Yeah, I know. It's the craziest thing, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like, who doesn't record a webinar?
2 things in internet marketing that always confuse me was when people do that, and the second one is how many affiliates in Vietnam with no sales on JVZoo.
I was just...
You ever noticed that?
I was just telling Todd, I just deny all the email ones now.
There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
They're just coming out of the woodwork. They've got no sales, but they've got 1,400 lists and stuff like that. They say, you think, right, okay, well, that's not working for you. Stop those solo ads, mate. And Vietnam is not that far from here. I've never been there, actually. It's about 4 or 5 hours drive. I should go there. Maybe I could build a good little team of outsourcers.
There you go.
Where are you originally from, Tony?
Scotland.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. I've been travelling most of the time. So I left Scotland when I was 17, so a long time ago. More than half my life away from now. Family's still there.
Is my voice good, you guys?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yep.
Am I okay?
You're good.
Okay.
Okay, we got 1 minute. Let's just hold off a minute anyway so we can get more in. Often find it, that after the first 10 minutes it goes up significantly with the amount of...
Yeah.
So I think when you start the webinar, Clinton, I'll do the introduction a little bit and I'll introduce you.
Yeah.
And basically, you're working with Todd for how long? With just...
Probably 2 years.
About 2 years?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
And
2 years.
you're the guy that's doing all the work. And
Clinton's been...
Todd's taking all the money.
I've been doing website design for 17 years, though.
Wow, really? Oh, okay.
So, I mean, you can pop that number out there. That'll perk up some years, right?
Right, that's quite a long time.
Yeah, I was doing it before Google existed.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
I think...
Clinton, Clinton sort of, we met in another group, and he just, learned all these things, that we're teaching here, and he just, to me, was just a phenomenal student, and really understood and was really able to grasp everything that I taught. And how I knew that was I had this long thread. You'll probably see it I'll have a screenshot of it. Like 1,000 comments, and anytime that I wasn't available to answer a question or wasn't fast enough, Clinton would answer the question, and I would read his answer, and I'd be like, yeah, +1 Clinton, right on, thanks a lot, and I kept finding myself doing that quite a bit because, yeah, he was just right there always helping me out, and we really weren't personal with each other at that point, but he was still just always there helping me. And his answers were always right on. And then, when I decided to redo this program, I just, couldn't think of anyone else better to co-host it with me than him. So,
Super.
And then he has a lot of success in SEO and web design, and other products that he helps. He's a big helper, coach, or trainer of all things internet.
Yeah,
is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
All right, I think we can probably just click the start broadcasting button, Clinton, and we'll do a quick intro. I'm not going to do a big long intro, and it's just very, very casual stuff, and let you get straight into the webinar. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to hit start broadcast now.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, Tony here, and I've got two very, very special guests with me today. We got Todd Spears, who and Clinton described him yesterday as the godfather of PBN. And whenever I started doing SEO, I think it was back in 2006. Todd was around then, and he was doing this kind of stuff then. So if there's somebody that knows anything about PBN more than anybody else around, then it's definitely going to be Todd Spears. And Clinton is with us, and Clinton was previously Todd's student, but he got so good at it that he has been working with Todd for the past 2 years, building out this particular product that they're going to be talking about today. Just let me know before we get started that you can hear us okay, and we're going to take some questions towards the end, but we've got a lot of content to get through, and I just want to get into the webinar as quickly as possible so we can cover as much as possible, because the last time we had Todd on the webinar, I'm pretty sure, Todd, it went over 2 hours. I'm absolutely sure of it, and we didn't even have that one recorded. And before anybody asks, yes, this is being recorded. Okay. So you're getting a delay and an echo. Well, I'm going to pause. I'm going to mute myself in just a second, and we'll go straight over to Clinton, I think, who's got the slides, and we can just kick off and get into the content. Okay, you okay, guys? You ready?
Yeah, I'm here, Tony. I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's go with it. Okay.
Okay, hey guys, this is Todd Spears speaking now. Give me a 1 if you can hear me clearly. I know that Tony was breaking up a little bit, but I want to check my voice. Give me a 1, 1, 1. Great. Okay, cool. I'm sounding real good. Hey, real quick, Clinton, give me a mic check on your side. Hello, Clinton. Can anyone hear Clinton?
Oh, now I can hear you. I'm losing audio a bit. Okay.
Okay, there's Clinton. Now everybody hears him. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, well, welcome to this webinar. I'm glad to be here. I brought along my partner, Clinton Dixon, on the relaunch of Blog Network Blueprint. Blog Network Blueprint was originally developed, well, I've been doing it for over 10 years, and back in 2011 and 2012, I was getting a lot of requests to make a course on what it is that I was doing building private blog networks. And one of the main reasons was because I was actually the first person to ever invent SEO hosting that some of you may have heard of in the past. It's what we use to host our private blog networks. And I was the first one to come out with that back in 2003, and we were building these blog networks and getting some great rankings using private blog networks and just using blogs overall in general to rank. We did a lot of, mass production and auto posting and content generation, and, if you've done SEO for longer than, 5 or 10 minutes, you know that it changes quite frequently. So it's always fun to just try to stay ahead of the curve, and a lot of different things come and go, but one thing that's always remained the same, and that is building up a private blog network where you control the links and you control the power of those links and the power of your domains. So that was the how we did blog networks forever, and I made a course on this a few years ago. And like I said, things change. So this past summer, I decided to go ahead and remake the course. And so I brought Clinton along. He was one of my students I mentioned a couple years ago, and I noticed that he was just phenomenal. He helped me answer a lot of questions a lot of times in some of our Facebook groups, and he really knew his stuff. So we'll talk to Clinton a little bit more later on in the presentation. But for now, I want everyone to realize that Clinton is running the slideshow on his end, and I'm just doing the talking because you may or may not notice throughout this, sometimes I tend to get a little bit long-winded and try to explain everything that I possibly can, in my life. And so I've instructed Clinton to move me along in these slides. Now we only have about an hour. We might go a little bit longer, but I don't want to go much over an hour because I know it's it's kind of late on the East Coast. And so we want to try and wrap this up. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through, if we can get to the next slide, I'll just go ahead and start running down what we're going to be talking about for the next hour. And I know a lot of you are going to have a lot of questions. We do have one big blank slide for Q&A, and when we get there, Tony will field those questions and we'll start answering them. Okay, so the things that we're going to talk about today are the basics and some of the more advanced features as well. But first of all, it's going to be what is a blog network, and I got some lag with that coming in. And the next, it says how does it help with rankings, of course. And we're going to talk about what's required to set up a private blog network, and of course some of the things that we need to do to set one up. Okay, moving on. Clinton, you have some lag over there on your slideshow?
I guess so if you don't see it yet.
No, I'm not seeing it. I must have lag.
Okay. So I've got the next slide up. Can everyone else see? Can everyone give me a one?
Anyone else get a new slide?
What the next slide says?
I thought this was going to be the best way to do it, but I could be wrong, and we may have to switch this up and show my screen.
I'm getting...
Okay, now I've got the next screen.
Okay. I think it's you, because I'm getting some ones and a few saying there's...
It's lagging for everyone?
No, I'm getting mostly ones, so you can see.
Okay.
I guess because you're talking so much that it can't buffer.
Okay. That's probably true. Well, we'll try this for a minute, and if we get any more lag on moving these slides along, we're going to switch it back over to me. Okay, so anyway, a blog network is basically a collection of WordPress blogs. And the reason why we use WordPress is basically because it's just easy to manage with different plugins. And I'm reading, someone can't hear, maybe you can, I don't know, restart the session, sir. Anyway, let me continue on. Now, each blog is going to be a unique domain. In other words, we're not using subdomains as part of our blog network. Now, in the past we used to, but not anymore at all. And one of the requirements is that each of your powerful domains needs to be on its own unique IP. And I'll get into more details on that, but basically, it has to be on a unique IP and more importantly on a unique Class C. In order to find out what IP your domain is on, you can do what's called a ping from your DOS prompt. It's pretty easy. You just type in the word ping. But that right there, the red number, the 89, must be different. That's your Class C, what we call in the octet of an IP address. We've got your Class A, Class B, Class C, and Class D. Okay, so it's very, very important that each of your domains have a unique Class C. And why is that important? Is because we don't want to have all of our links pointing to a money site from the same IP address, because what that says to Google is that it's all owned by the same person. So that's just a very basic, important, fundamental step that you really need to understand when you're building out your private blog network. Also, something else that is very important for your blogs is you kind of want to update your content. You want to put fresh content on these blogs. I say 4 to 8 times per month. Once a week is okay. Used to, we could overdo this quite a bit, but we don't really want to over spam our blog networks anymore. We just want to pump in some relevant content from time to time to make sure they stay fresh. And what happens is when you put in some fresh content into a blog, it has an automatic ping. You can even find the settings inside your WordPress blog where it goes out and pings places such as Pingoat or Ping-O-Matic. And what that does is that alerts the search engines or anybody else that's connected to that, hey, there's new content out here on the web, come check it out. And that sends the spiders to your blog and they traverse your links. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But I just want to point out that we do want to put a little bit more updated content from time to time on your blog, but don't overdo it and don't get spammy. Now, the next point I want to make is kind of when we talk about updating our site with content, we're talking about backfill content. We're talking about content that doesn't necessarily have links to money sites, but has links out to like authority sites like Wikipedia or news sites like CNN or something that has other any Google News site, things like that that have that kind of content. You want to put all your money posts which point to your money sites, basically an article with a link pointing to your target, your money site. That's what we're going to call a sticky post. And there's a little small setting inside of WordPress. It's real easy to find if you click on Quick Edit, and you can make that post sticky. Now on this slide, this is what a basic diagram, real in its simplest form of what a blog network looks like. Basically, it's a collection of high authority blogs that all have some content on them that point to a money site. Now, Clinton, we've talked about this in the past, and a lot of times in the past, Google changes this from time to time, whether they're going to just rank your home page for what's on there. But now what Google is doing is they've been doing this for a while now, but they'll rank inner pages quite frequently. And so if you take some content on some of your blogs, you can put, like, say, I think what example were we talking about here today?
The
lawyer sites, right?
Yeah, so basically, your blogs, your PBNs don't all need to go to your homepage. In fact, it's better that you don't send them all to your homepage, because that's just a big signal for Google to say,
right,
hey, you're just trying to trick me. But so it's a really good idea to also keep thematical relevance. So that means if you have, say, your money site is an injury or it is a lawyer site, and you've got an inner page that says is about injury law, another one that says divorce law, then you have your PBN, which will be an injury law article, will be going to your injury law inner page, so that it matches the content that you're linking from on your PBN matches the content that you're linking to on your money site. And creating those inner page linking it really helps in terms of helping rank, and Google likes to see that.
Yeah, exactly. You want to sometimes link not only to the home page of your money site, but also to your inner pages with, as he said, relevant content, relevant blog pages pointing to relevant pages on your money site. And that really can help boost your rankings on those pages. Like I said, Google ranks pages, not domains. All right, what do we got next?
You should have the next one up here, unless you're lagging. Do you see the next screen yet, Todd?
No, I'm not seeing the next screen yet. But I know what I am going to do.
You bring it up yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not getting the next screen here. Sorry, guys. I'm not sure why I can't see it. Can somebody pass me the screen, change presenter?
You want me to send it to you? Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's change it over to you, Todd, and we'll make you presenter. Hopefully that will fix the issues. Okay, we've got some questions coming in the meantime. Tom asking, how does it help with rankings? Clinton is going to give you some examples of rankings and monetization a little bit later in the webinar, Tom. And let's see what else we got in here. Leonard asking, does a YouTube video work as a content blog? Not in the sense of being similar to a PBN, but it can be a very, very effective tier 1 link to PBNs, Leonard. And, you know, YouTube has got its own value in different ways, as you will see if you stay on my list and follow the webinars that we do almost on a weekly basis. Let's see if there's some other ones here. You got your screen back now, Todd? You ready?
I think so. I'm on the slide that how does it help rankings.
Okay,
Yeah, we
let's
just see the header, if that's all that's up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll stop talking now.
How
You
about
carry
now?
on. Yeah, you carry
Yeah,
on.
it's coming in.
Okay, so how does it help with rankings? And now we're going to talk about the domains and the content that we're publishing onto these domains. We sort of touched on it on the previous slide about being relevant content. Basically, the domains that we use within our private blog network are domains that we acquire from different sources online that we'll talk about here in a minute as well. And they have, you know, what's called high authority. That means their domain authority, which is a metric that is calculated by a company called Moz.com. They scrape the internet basically just like Google does and track all of the backlinks. And PageRank used to be, you know, the holy grail of the metric that we use to see how powerful a domain is, because the more powerful a domain is in a PBN that points to a money site, the more power it gives your money site, and that's how it helps in its rankings. Now, PageRank, as some of you may know, hasn't been updated in over a year now, and Google has actually come out and said that they're really not going to publish updated PageRank. You can get the little Google toolbar and you can see PageRanks of sites. But that hasn't been updated, and they're not going to update it anymore because they know that us SEOs use that in order to help us, you know, get higher rankings. But one thing that you can sort of, you know, if Google's toolbar says a domain has a page rank of 5, okay, well, you know, that was probably a year ago. This year it may still be a 5 or it might be a 4. It's not going to go straight to 0 if it's still, you know, if it still has the same backlinks coming to it. Okay, so I still use that number just sort of as a gauge of maybe what has Google thought about this domain in the past, but I don't use that as the end-all be-all metric for making my decision. It helps in my decision if I want to acquire that domain or not, but it's not the end-all be-all. So that's all I want to say about PageRank. What we generally focus on mostly these days is domain authority, page authority, which comes from Moz, and then there's also trust flow and citation flow, which comes from Majestic. And we're going to list out some sources of these sites here in just a moment, and we'll give it to all you guys in the chat box as well, so you'll kind of understand what we're talking about. And again, so once we acquire one of these high authority domains and we put it into our blog network, we set it up, we put WordPress on it, and then we publish content on those sites. Now, as I talked about before, we want to publish a little bit of backfill content so that the blog doesn't just have posts of articles with links to money sites. You want to mix it up a little bit. I mean, if you have a blog that's got 4 posts on the homepage and they all point to the homepage of some other money site, well, that's, you know, anybody that looks at that's going to know that, oh, this is a pure PBN domain, and maybe we should de-index it. So by publishing additional content and backfilling it, you're gonna save yourself from de-indexing in the future. Now, the blog, as it says here, the blogs are published with content to attract the search engine spiders. Like I mentioned before, pings the spiders come. The search engine spiders come to your site, they follow all the links inside the blog, and they go off to your money sites, and they see that your site points to a money site with varying degrees of anchor text. Now, we can talk about anchor text a little bit more if you guys want. There's certain ratios that you want to use. There's certain do's and don'ts that you want to do with your anchor text. In the past, all you had to do was put your, an anchor text is like the word that's on top of the link, if anybody doesn't know that. And the best example, and one of the things that, years ago, the best way to teach SEO was go to Google and type in the word click here. And what's the #1 ranking for click here? I haven't done this in a while, but because it's not true anymore. But it used to be, and I'm sure it's still the same way, but if you type in click here in Google, the #1 listing was Adobe. And that's because everybody's website said, in order to read this file, you need Adobe, so click here. And the click here linked to Adobe. So that told us that Google was ranking Adobe.com for the term click here because everybody linked to it with the anchor text of click here. Okay, but now over the last couple of years, we've got something that's come out. I'm sure everyone's heard of the Penguin updates and the over-optimization, and they were catching on that everybody was basically just putting the keyword they wanted to rank for as the anchor text. It's not that way anymore. Nowadays, we want to use very little keyword, exact match keyword anchor text, and we want to use more general and more LSI and more sandwich. Nowadays, what your pages rank for, I remember when I mentioned earlier that Google ranks pages and not domains, okay? So you really got to let your on-page do most of the talking for you as to what this page is about. Google has switched from a purely keyword in the anchor text driven to what this site's about to really focusing on the on-page. And now you can't spam the on-page either. Don't get ridiculous thinking that, oh, now all I'm going to do is just spam my homepage with keywords, what I want to rank for. That doesn't work either. You just have to be cool, you have to be natural, and Google will figure it out. They are actually very good at figuring out what your pages are about. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm driving right now, so I'll have to limit my own self. Okay, so that's enough being said. I want to really make that point clear, though, to you guys, is that you really have got to watch your anchor text if you want to rank for anything. It's very important. It's not just straight up your keyword all the time. Hell, most of the time, I use the keyword maybe less than 10% of the time, the exact match. Less than 10% of the time. You still have to use it a little bit, but not very much. Okay, enough about that. Okay, now I wanted to, I had this case study at the end of this presentation up until about an hour ago, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to break up my geekiness speak of all the blog network stuff and go ahead and hop right into a case study. This is an actual case study that Clinton's been working on for about a year. So with that being said, I'm just going to let Clinton take this over and tell you guys all about this case study he's been running.
Yeah, so this is actually a business that I helped my parents get started. They've been wanting to do it for a little while, and finally I kicked them in the butt and said, let's do it. And we started this year, so we started, got the new domain on January 3rd, had the website built out. First PBN link went up on the 29th of January, and about 6 weeks later, we were middle of page 1, and then I think a week or 2 later, we were #1 for all of the primary and tons of secondary keywords. Basically, we just dominated the whole thing. So, and you can just see in this graph here how the ranking just shot right up. And I didn't even put very many PBN links to this. I think I spaced them out. I think maybe somewhere between 4 and 6. There's not more than 6 going to this website. I think the last one I put in there just for good measure. But yeah, basically it doesn't take a lot of PBNs to just completely dominate a business market. So basically my parents got 400 calls. The business got 400 calls in the span of, I think it was 6 or 7 months. They had 44 sales, and the only reason they didn't have more, and they probably would have tripled they didn't have enough inventory to keep up. So, and it's a seasonal business, so they're basically able to close from November to March. So, but as you can see in the graph, their rankings and their traffic stayed, even though the last PBN link wasn't added or was added in June, and that's the thing about PBNs. It gives it the boost, and it just continues keeping that power there. And that's what happened with this one. And they're still dominating.
How much what was the average revenue per sale, Clinton?
Somewhere around 1,000 to 1,500.
Okay. So,
Actually, it'd be about 1,500, yeah.
So it took you 45 days to build a site that generated
over $60,000.
$70,000, and still going strong. And this is a seasonal business, so I guess in March it'll kick back in again. And another $100,000 a year.
Yeah, actually, last night they got another sale. So
well, that's right. You were telling me that they call in and reserve the item, and that's great.
Couple of questions coming in, guys. If you don't mind, if we can just answer these quickly. John is asking, how many links did you add onto the PBN throughout the 5 months? I think you mentioned 6 there in total, Clinton.
Yeah, I use 6 PBN. So basically, what I do is put one post with 2 links going to the website. So there's essentially 12 links in total, 6 PBN sites in total.
Oh, okay. So one link on each PBN site. And what was the sort of search volume on the keyword? I mean, you can see it's a high value keyword, guys, because the sale at the end is about $1,000 to $1,500. I think Clinton just mentioned there. So it's high value, which some people confuse when they're thinking about the search volume. High value keywords are not always with high search volume. It's the value of the keyword according to your spend that gives you the return on investment. So it's not always about ranking for really high search volumes. You can find a lot of money without actually the search volume being there.
Yeah, and
exactly.
Just one more thing to pop in there, Todd, is this was ranking internationally. So some of their clients were like Venezuela, Colombia, Argentina, all over the U.S. So it wasn't just a local. They had calls from everywhere.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
and
great.
Joseph is asking about the anchor ratio that you used there, Clinton.
I don't know. I mean,
for 12 links.
I mean, with only 12 links, that's your ratio is going to be a little different than if you have 100 links, right?
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, you know what? One of my rules of thumb, and I try to get everybody to get on board with this, is that the best way to do this is to go slow and have a little bit of patience. Now, as you can see in this case study, it was 45 days to calls, basically. That's awesome. That's really good. You don't see that. Look, you can get there real quick if you just lay down the wood and get a lot of backlinks a lot of fast, but it won't last. And your link velocity, your link velocity is how fast you add links to a money site. And if your link velocity 1 month is a spike, and then you have and then you don't keep it up later on, then Google's going to see that as basically spam, and they're not gonna keep your rankings. So the reason why we build these PBNs is because what I like to do is, okay, say I have a collection of just a base set for a target, say 20 PBNs, okay, and then in the first week I might add 2 links, and then I sit and I wait and I want to see where does that move it to, because you can do all the competitive analysis you want and look at all of the page 1 domains and sort of think what it's going to take to rank that site, but a lot of times you're wrong, because Google is this living, breathing animal that I don't think sometimes it always knows what the heck it's doing. I mean, it does have its basis, but sometimes I think I mean, look, it's never exactly 100% from one niche to the next and from one site to the next, because they don't want it to be. If it were that way, it would be too easy to figure out. So I think there's a little bit of artificial intelligence inside of how Google's algorithms rank. So what I always recommend people doing is, hey, first of all, you got to have a little bit of patience, okay? You can spam your site to death and you can get rankings really, really fast, but you're probably going to lose them, in the short term. But by what Clinton did here was, I mean, he's probably thinking, oh no, okay, I'm going to start this up. I'm probably going to need, 20 or 30 or 40 links to compete with all the other guys on the first page who have been there for years. But in reality, it only took a couple, and then he popped right up, and then, add a couple more for safe measure, but then stop adding links, because you don't want to get your link velocity so high that you can't sustain it. Okay, so that's just one point that I really want to make. And I thought this was a perfect case study of bringing that point home. Was sometimes it only takes a few links to get you to where you need to be, and a few more to maintain that. Now, if I see a little dip here on the end of this chart. Maybe that Clinton sees that and says, okay, well, it's not in season right now anyway. That might have something to do with it because there's not a lot of traffic coming to the site or that kind of thing. But I can see Clinton saying, okay, well, now let's add a couple more links here and get this thing back going in the right direction for March. So it's the SEO is and PBNs is adding the least amount of links as possible to get to where you need to be. All right, guys?
A lot of questions coming in, similar questions, asking about the domain authority, page rank, etc. for those PBNs that you used there, Clinton, in this case study.
Yeah, so they weren't even, super strong. It's not like I went to some 50 or plus. It's just they're all in the 20 to 35 range. So yeah. You can find tons of websites with those kind of.
And if you were doing one link on each PBN, there must be homepage contextual links.
No, what I do is I'll do when I only need a few PBNs like this, I'll use all money keywords. Not always the same one. So if it was injury lawyer. Mississippi. I don't know, just I wouldn't always use that same one. I'd use injury lawyer, the accident attorney, things that are similar, and that's where Todd mentioned the LSI. So it'll always change up. But I rank to inner pages as well. So what you'll see if you do that is you're going to get your homepage rank, and then right behind it, sometimes will be your inner page. So you get two pages ranking on the same page.
Yeah, and these are all coming from the PBN links are coming from home pages and the PBNs, yeah?
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay. Yeah. And let's see if we can just take another couple of questions, because a whole ton came in questions when you started to do the case study. Let me just see. All PBNs and separate hosting accounts. Are you using the SEO hosting for this, Todd?
I use
Clinton, sorry.
Well, I have a number of PBNs, and they're spread out among different hosting, but I think they're pretty much all different SEO hostings.
Right.
Which works great.
Yeah, some of the Clinton uses my hosting too.
Yeah.
Along with a few others, which is recommended.
Okay, and somebody was asking, was there any other links used? Clinton replied in the sort of text answers, no other linking done other than things like Facebook page, etc., which is just going to give you some social signals, hopefully. Let's see, how many networks were there? 20 blogs. I think it was, how many blogs was it in total? It was 12, not 20, yeah?
No, it was 12 links in total.
Oh, 12 links from 6.
Links from each blog.
Yeah.
So I only had like six blogs.
Okay. Daryl asking if
I could have done it with 4 and left it. I probably didn't need the last 2.
Daryl asking, are you using social signals to your PBNs and money sites like other people such as Becker, who suggested this as part of this strategy using SendWire?
No, I don't really, other than creating social pages and properties, the typical ones, Facebook,
Right, okay.
Google+.
Mark,
That's all you need a lot of the times.
sorry, yeah. Mark asking if it's going to be recorded. Yes, we mentioned at the beginning of the webinar we're going to be recording. 2 links going to the money site, one to the home page and one to an inner page. I think that's correct, yeah? John asking.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Brian, the price you're going to sell, is it $497? No, it's not. It's significantly less.
Hey, I can change it.
Yeah. Let me see. I think we can just carry on. What I'll do is I'll copy some of these questions, and when we come to the Q&A section, then we can ask some more so that we can just keep moving forward. But there was just a big influx of questions at that particular point. I thought I'd better get some in.
Okay. So now back to more of the technical stuff. Because believe it or not, guys, sorry to say, you're going to have to learn some of these terms. You're going to have to learn how to, find these high authority domains. It sounds like we have a lot of I'm not reading the question live here, but I'm hearing them coming in from you, Tony. And it sounds like we have a lot of people on this call who are familiar with blog networks and have studied it somewhere from someone. I know there's been a lot of PBN courses that came out this year. Blog Network Blueprint was first published in 2011 and 2012, and that's where a lot of people got the information was from the original Blog Network Blueprint course. But this year, has in particular, this past summer, I saw a lot of people coming out with a lot of different PBN things. And just so you guys know, most of the information that you've heard from Becker and others came from BNB1. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Shameless self-plug, I guess. So high authority domains, as we mentioned earlier, that just means they have a big number on the domain authority. Clinton was talking about he was using and ranking his parents' site with 20s and 30s. Nothing wrong with 20s and 30s at all. There's citation flow, trust flow that you get from Majestic. In a minute, we will pull out a notepad and start taking some notes on some of the sources that we like to use. But what's required? High authority domains, unique IPs, unique Class Cs, SEO hosting. Again, I offer that service. I've been doing that service for years and years and years. I understand there's some certain types out there that will claim up and down that, SEO hosting doesn't work anymore and it gets everybody killed. Well, I'm living proof that it doesn't actually happen that way. Typically, when you get your entire blog network de-indexed, you were targeted. Okay? There was a big e-sig fiasco a few months back, and everybody in the e-sig niche was targeted because all of the big e-sig manufacturers and players that were spending thousands of dollars per day on AdWords were getting sick and tired of paying all of the affiliates thousands and thousands of dollars for ranking on the first page of Google for their e-sig affiliate sites. So somebody lobbied Google in the e-sig industry and said, nuke all those guys, and that's what happened. A lot of people came out and blamed, some people came out and blamed SEO hosting for it. But look, Google crawls my network 24/7 every millisecond of every day. I see it every day. So it's not really that. If you get de-indexed, usually you got targeted by someone or manual reviews or something like that. Another a good point to make about your high authority domains: make them look real. Spend a little bit of extra time on them to don't make them look spammy. Use nice themes. Use nice images. Spend a little bit of time to make them look good so that if someone were to come by and review them, they don't look like pure spam. Okay? So back to this. What's required? High authority domains, unique IPs. You want to always have some articles. You're going to have to find some article writers. If you're a great writer, hey, you're one step ahead of the game. If you're not a great writer, then spend $5 to $6 per article to get you some articles written that point to your money site. There's also, I have a plugin that I use called Content Amigo. Been developed it years and years ago. I keep updating it to make sure that it's still doing good. We use it on tons of our sites, and we're never getting any problems by using Content Amigo to backfill our sites. It's semi-automated. It's semi-spun. You can spin it however much you want. It interfaces with the APIs of some of your favorite spinner services out there, and also does some internal stuff with Google Translate and things like that. I use it on all my blogs to put backfill content, and I make all my articles that go to my money sites as sticky posts, as I mentioned before. The links in the sites are basically embedded in the content of the article. I said or article, but it's embedded in the content of the article, or maybe in just a resource box at the bottom. Either way works pretty good. Some people say that the higher up on the page, the more juice the link has. I don't necessarily believe that, but some people say that it is, and whatever makes you feel good is probably the best way to go on that. Okay, so also the setup is a little more technical stuff here. I'm going to go over. I'm going to just list all these out here right now so I don't get too long-winded on one of them and step on top of myself on the other. And I believe after this slide, Clinton, we are going to fire up a notepad and talk about some resources. And let me see, check the time on this. How far are we in? 35 minutes?
So it's, what time is it now?
No, we're a little bit over. We're a little bit over. I got to speed it up here a little bit. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit here, and then we'll take some Q&A and maybe fill in the blanks here. But the setup again, we want to get aged keywords specific. If you want to do a themed PBN, you can do that by searching all the auctions and all of the domains to buy for a particular keyword, or you can buy general expired domains that have high domain metrics and use those as well. Always host with SEO hosting. Another very important piece of setting up your PBN is make sure you're using private name servers and you're using private whois. Private name servers, don't let that scare you in any way. It's actually pretty simple to set up. Every registrar allows you to register, ns1.thenameofyourdomain.com with an IP. Just Google or ask your registrar like GoDaddy or Namecheap or Enom or Network Solutions or any of those services all allow you to set up private name servers. If you don't know how to do it, just ask them. They'll point you to the article that does it. Private whois means you got to pay an extra $8 a year per domain. So each domain roughly costs you about $20 per year, okay, which sounds expensive when you start talking about 20 or 30 domains, but the ROI, in fact, it's not that. The ROI, building a private blog network and ranking some site, it's actually peanuts. And if you get a lot of domains going, you can always talk to your current registrar and ask them, hey, you're going to give me a discount to re-register these here, or do I need to transfer them to somewhere else? Because I guarantee you that if you called one of their competitors and say, I've got 100 domains, or I've got 20 domains, or however many domains, give me a deal. They will make you a deal to transfer your stuff. I've done it. Again, we use WordPress just because it's simple, easy. We have a lot of plugins. I have a lot of plugins for that. I have a lot of APIs that connect into WordPress that allow me to effectively manipulate and manage these remotely. Because when you get a lot of blogs going on at the same time, you want to be able to, handle them without running into a big mess. So we use WordPress for that. For that reason. I've got a couple other plugins that work with WordPress. You may have heard of it, Spider Spanker. It's going to protect you in certain ways. Another one's called Hacker Spanker, protects WordPress from getting hacked. So those are two really cool plugins that we use for WordPress, and that's why we use WordPress. Some people use straight HTML sites. Nothing wrong with straight HTML sites. But there's not a lot of things you can do automated with using straight HTML sites. I mean, you can, but I don't want to get into the FTP technical details of changing your pages. But you can with HTML, but there's just not a lot of, you would have to create your own tools is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, so that's that. Again, I use a lot of automation to keep track and handle management and manipulation of our networks. Now I'm going to check this next slide here. Leave no footprints, and it is blinking at me. I don't know why I did that, but that was cool. I think I hit the, okay. So to me, when I say leave no footprints, I mean be random. Don't be the same guy every time, the same MO every time. Do things differently, okay? Don't use the same theme. Don't use the same host. Don't use the same name on the registration. Don't use the same DNS. Okay, be random. The other thing you can do is to fit in with the crowd. Okay, blend in with everybody else. You can, not be random or blend in with someone else, but don't ever be unique. That's the point. Don't ever be unique. And be the same with all your uniqueness is what I meant to say.
Yeah, one of the things with some of the footprints, don't use the same theme. Definitely do not use Google. Like if you use the same, if you do connect it to Google, which I don't recommend doing, you don't want to have the same analytics number on there. There are so many different footprints you can have. You just want to make sure that those aren't the same across all the same PBNs.
Yeah, Google Webmaster Tools is another one. Don't connect the dots. Don't connect them for them. Okay, so I think, here's a slide. We mentioned some software and tools. I think here's where we're going to whip out some resources, Clinton, so get ready for that. Here's just a list of some of the software and tools that I use, and I've created most of these for basically for the purpose of generating PBNs and making them work well. And being able to manage them, being able to get content to them, being able to monetize them, being able to manage their links, being able to install them quickly. I've got a blog network installer that I can just click done, and it installs WordPress and 25 other plugins and activates them all. And so those are some of the software that we use. PBN Express is a new tool coming out soon. I mentioned Spider Spanker and Hacker Spanker. They're very good for protection. Spider Spanker will keep you out of Moz and a lot of the other backlink aggregators, so the spies can't find your network and reveal it, torch it or DOS it or whatever you want to do, because once you get PBNs down, you'll start playing in some big money fields, and some of the big money fields, some of the big money niches out there, there's some nasty players, and they will come after you, and they will try to take your sites down. So it's best to try and hide yourself as much as possible, and that's kind of more advanced. I think a lot of you guys on this call sort of probably already own Spider Spanker. Those of you that are just starting out and starting to build your PBNs, even if it wasn't my product, I think it's something very very needed to keep yourself hidden. Hacker Spanker is another great tool I would recommend, because, man, I run a web hosting company, and I see blogs get hacked all the time, and it's not because they did anything wrong. It's just because it's just their day, it's their time, and they get hacked. Now, a lot of guys running Hacker Spanker now, I don't have any problems with those guys. They get Hacker Spanker and say that. So, unless you're backing up your stuff every day, know how to restore quickly, don't worry about it. But you do need to protect your WordPress blogs, because I can't emphasize it enough that WordPress gets hacked relentlessly and every day. So make sure you protect those PBNs, because when they go down, when they get hacked, we're going to show you in just a little bit what happens when your links disappear. Your rankings are going to disappear too. So, as far as softwares and tools go, these are some of the ones that are highly recommended. Also, of course, we all know Tony's IFTTT Backlink Commando, very good for getting a lot of social backlinks. I know it's been going on this week. I know probably everybody on this call probably already has that. That software to help them pump up their PBNs and make them look a little more natural. Now, in the past, I've never thought that was too important, but I think nowadays it is becoming more important when people start, when Google and their teams start reviewing your PBN. They want to see naturalness out of it, and good PBNs are maybe being high authority PBNs, high authority domains are actually being talked about in social circles now. So don't forget about Backlink Commando and maybe some other tools out there to help you get some social signals to your.
Step in there a second. On the 11th of January, guys, we're going to be doing a webinar. I'm going to build a high PR Tumblr PBN network with 10 Tumblr accounts from page rank 2 to page rank 5. These are perfect for linking to your PBN sites, okay? That's the strategy we're going to be teaching on that webinar. So if you've got, you spent money on good expired domains, you want to have a decent link profile, and one of the best ways to do that is to have good quality tier 1 links coming to your PBN sites, and that's what we're going to be teaching on the 11th of January. And basically you're going to see me set up a 10 blog network with high PR Tumblr accounts, using it with PBNs, okay, as a tier 1 for the PBN sites themselves. Sorry to jump in there, just to make it. We get a lot of questions.
Point, Tony.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Over time, you're going to lose some links to those PBNs. They're going to start dropping in power a little bit. Doesn't happen as much as, some people say, but it does. And heck, you know what? I mean, making your PBNs more powerful they are when you first bought them, hey, that's great. And what Tony's talking about is certainly a way to do that, to give those PBNs more juice, because what you're doing is you're giving your PBNs juice to juice up your money site. That's the bottom line. Juicy domains. Okay, let me see what the next slide is, because I'm not real sure. Okay, this is another real-life example, and then I think we've got a few more real-life examples, and we're pretty much done with the how-to part, or the very broad overview of how to build PBNs. I know a lot of you guys are probably experienced in doing this, so hopefully we gave you some tips, some do's and some don'ts that you can apply to your existing PBNs and help you get better at what you're doing on that regard. Clinton, let's go ahead and switch the screen back over to your side, and I want you to pull up your notepad, and let's just talk for 5 or 6 minutes here and type in some names of some of the online services that we use to find domains, and also check the power of them. Okay.
Sure. So I think everyone see my screen now? Give me some ones.
I can see it. I can see it. Okay. So I guess we'll just start rattling off. Where do you find these high-powered domains?
Find domains. So some of the places we use, expired domains, .net I think it is, Register Compass. That's one
some
of my
these are
favorites.
free and some of these are paid. So
yeah. GoDaddy Auctions is a good one. Namejet. Snap Names.
Namejet start at $69. GoDaddy Auctions start at $12. Once you go through here, you're going to be able to pick out, like a place like Register Compass and expireddomains.net. They're going to give you some basic metrics as to, what kind of power the domain has initially. But then after you find some domains that you kind of like, then you're going to want to go over and dig into them a little bit deeper. You're going to want to try and figure out, okay, has this been used as a PBN in the past? Was it a bad site in the past? What did it used to look like? Has it been de-indexed? All these sort of things that you kind of really want to pay attention to before you go in and spend money on your PBNs. Now buying these domains for your PBN, they can range anywhere from, you can find some decent ones for $50, and then you can find some really incredible ones for $500. Okay, so it varies, and it's always going to be depending on these metrics. After you find your domain, you're going to want to go to Open Site Explorer, Majestic SEO, Wayback Machine, Ahrefs. Go look it up in Google, see if it's in the Google cache, see if it's indexed, see if it's de-indexed. So you want to do your investigation by using most of these tools right here. They'll give you a little bit of action for free, but unfortunately, in order to dig around a whole lot, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. to pull back the metrics. Now, one of the things that I want to mention that we really want to pay attention to when we're looking at a PBN, say we go into, we pull up a domain we like, we go in and pop it into ahrefs.com. You want to find out what its anchor text. First of all, you want to see how many, if it's got a 30 DA and a 30 PA and it's got some good metrics. Well, we want to make sure it's not fake, first of all. Okay, we want to make sure that we do see links coming into that site, and it's going to tell us what links those are. And then we can open those links up and look at the metrics of that page and say, okay, this is a decent looking site. The link does exist, and it's coming back to this target PBN domain that we like. And then you want to make sure that exists, because if you don't see any good links coming into this domain from one of these sites, then it's probably not going to last. Somehow somebody's faked you out, or this domain authority and this page authority is about to drop like a rock, and you're about to lose your money out on it, okay? So you want to make sure that the links coming into your PBNs are good, and you also want to look at the anchor texts that are coming into this expired domain, because in a lot of cases, these expired domains that you're looking at were used in the past, say last year or the previous year or whatever, and they were selling Viagra online. And every single anchor text coming into that site is by Viagra. And it probably got penalized, it probably got de-indexed, and it probably got kicked out of Google never to return. So you want to make sure you're not buying a PBN that has a ton of anchor text coming to it that says buy something, buy Ugg boots, buy fake purses, buy Viagra, or any adult things like that. More than likely, if that's happened to it, then it's not going to be any good as a PBN, and you want to avoid it. So make sure when you find the domains, you have to determine if they're good enough for you to spend money on. Okay, and I think I've said enough about that. Check the links coming to it, and check its anchor text. Those are the two main things that I look at. A good PBN to buy is most of its anchor text is branded or URL. Okay, it doesn't say buy something, and it doesn't say some keyword that's irrelevant to what you're trying to target. The best ones are branded, which means the URL's name in the anchor text, or
let's clarify that. But just because it is the URL doesn't mean that's the one. Those are good. So if you have say injury lawyer Washington, that's an EMD, right? And so you don't really want to see all the anchor text as that.
correct.
But if it's like Coca-Cola, that's good, because that's the brand of the company, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a branded name like the company. Yeah, I usually stay away from EMDs, exact match keyword phrases, for my PBN. Now, there's always exceptions to every rule, but I tend to avoid, if it's an EMD, then it's got EMD anchor text coming at it. So.
And we all have different, like as you do it yourself, you're going to create your own little things that you want. Like I don't care if it's an EMD as long as the metrics look good for myself. And actually one person even asked, have we ever had a PBN penalized? You bet we have. But you know why? Partly because we test. Sometimes I buy things that I know are going to get penalized, and I just see if it happens, and I buy it, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. So,
Yeah, over my years, I've had more sites de-indexed than anyone on the planet, probably. Because it just happens sometimes, and if you're worried about getting de-indexed, then you shouldn't be in this game, because you really shouldn't. Sometimes it's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it just happens. It doesn't happen to me very much anymore at all. But it has happened in the past. Once it does happen, you realize something's going on here, and we need to make a change. All right, we figure out what we need to change, and then we move on from there. Okay.
You want to take control back?
Anything else we need to add to that? I think we're good. You might want to cut and paste that into the chat box for me, Clinton.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. I'll give you control back here.
Okay, now back to some more fun, cool stuff. This is actually a post that was in one of our groups recently, and I talked to James. I said, hey, man, I said, that's a great. Hey, guys, and one thing I want to make clear is the examples I'm about to show you are from, I requested them 2 days ago from former students of Blog Network Blueprint. Guys I've been working with for a while, guys I've been coaching, guys I've been teaching, guys that teach me stuff too. You know, I learn something new every day. I mean, I don't consider it a successful day unless I learn something new. And James here, he posted this the other day. I contacted him. I said, James, you got to let me use this because this is great. James is somewhat new to PBNs. He's been doing some. He's been an SEO for a long time, but he's got his own ways of doing things. But he recently decided to get in on the PBN action here. And I want you guys to look at this graph right here. This client right here pays him $3,200 a month. And actually got on a call with him. We spent about an hour going over this. And actually he's making a lot more money than that because after he did this for one term for this guy, now he's going after another term or two for the same amount of money. So he's about to be hitting $10,000, $20,000 a month with this one particular money site that he's ranking with 3 PBNs. And you can see where it says, and he's the one that wrote on this particular screenshot, 3 more added here, and 3 PBNs added here, and just boosted it up and kept it going. And you can see a little bit. Can you guys read some of the comments that were made on this post? You can see right here, Greg Morrison. If some of you don't know who Greg Morrison is, he's kind of the scientist behind a program called OMG. Greg Morrison is the OMG, the one-man gang. He's an SEO guy. If you go to blognetworkblueprint.com, you'll see a testimonial on my homepage where he was using other ways of ranking some sites and being somewhat successful at it, making a little bit of money doing some more low-competition stuff. And then he took Blog Network Blueprint and learned how to build a proper PBN and went on to crush it to the tune of over $1 million in 1 year. Using PBNs to rank in some really competitive niches. And Greg took it to a whole nother level. I mean, Greg is an SEO scientist in and of himself. So he's a great guy, great friend, but he's living proof of PBNs and how good they work. And he commented here on this thread, and I just thought it was neat that James posted this and was all excited about, you know, kind of making fun of, hey, you know, the PBNs, I guess they still work, right? So so Greg jumps in here and says, yeah, they still work a little bit, winks at him, right? And you'll see another screenshot down here at the bottom where, in case you need more confirmation, check out this other result. $6,000 in leads dominating 4 of the top 10 spots, 120 leads generated in November 2014 for this client. All right, so I just wanted to make sure you guys can see some more real-life examples of people using PBNs and ranking sites for themselves, ranking sites for their parents, ranking sites for local businesses, ranking sites for e-commerce sites. And again, these are all now and today, not last year, not, you know, whenever, and not faked at all. This is real stuff. All right, that's cool. Everybody like that? All right, let's do a couple more and we'll be done. I could have inundated the whole show with you know, money, you know, but I think it's more important that you guys try to get more, also some training and some understanding on how to make these things work. All right, so you can see here some basic graphs. The green is the Google, the blue is Bing. I think we should pay attention to Bing a little bit more now that Firefox has changed their default search engine. 28% more traffic is going to Bing and Yahoo now. Yahoo uses Bing, Bing uses Yahoo, kind of thing. But anyway, you can see here where some PBNs were added for this particular key term. I blanked out a little bit. I want to give it away, but obviously it says futon there, so it's futon something. But it was lagging down here on page 3, 4, and 5. A couple of PBNs added, then boom, it pops up. You know, somewhere in the you know, low page 1, and then towards the end here, and look at, actually, you can actually see the PBNs actually stabilize the Bing listing. Look at the far right, how it's all just leveled out on the list. I think that's probably the number 2 or the number 3 spot. But you can see how it just levels out. And I know that, you know, Bing's not Google, but they do rely on links. I mean, it's no secret that they have to look at links too, because that's the most popular vote for a good site. So you can see how those PBNs probably, I'm pretty sure, eventually leveled out. Bing doesn't crawl as heavy as Google, so it took them a while to figure out that, hey, these are some great links to this site, and see how it flatlined over on the right. Same thing on the next one down here. You can see that we added a few links, a few PBN links to a lawyer site that was just way down there on page 3, and then added a few links, and boom, it popped up. And like I said before, hey, let's let it sit there for a little bit. So we let it sit there for it looks like about a month. Maybe 6 weeks, and then maybe 7 weeks, and then we said, okay, hasn't really moved in 7 weeks, so let's add a few more, and boom, it jumps up again. So that's what I'm saying. Add a few links, wait a few weeks, see what happens, and then add a few more links. Don't add them all at once. Save some of your power for when you know you're going to need it. Make sense, guys? That's kind of what Clinton did too. You know, added a few links, waited a while, it jumped up. I mean, he added some more for good measure, but nothing wrong with that either.
Nope.
I mean, because I think he was just surprised. This is another great Clinton story. So, Clinton, you want to go ahead and talk about this one?
Yeah. So this is a client that I picked up last year. You can see they were flatline, doing nothing with their website pretty much and this goes way back, starting October, going back, and basically rebuilt the website for them, and then started in October there, finished it in November, and started ranking it. And you can see adding PBNs just basically made it blast off, and this is for national and local keywords in Canada. So there was some stiff competition for some of the keywords, but I mean the website popped up really well, and it was just crushing it. But the client was a bit of an idiot, to put it nicely. He was getting tons more traffic, and I know his sales improved. He still felt like I did nothing for him. And he wanted to cut ties, and thinking that he didn't really need me anymore. So basically, I pulled my PBN links, because frankly that's my ownership, and pulled my PBN links, and you can see his website dropped quite a bit, and it's probably going to drop even more into the new year. So, but it just shows you how powerful the PBN links are, and once you pull them, it's another reason for clients to keep you on.
Yeah, another reason that when you control those links, because I've seen it over and over again, where you use some other methods out there that you can't control the links once you set them out there. You can't remove them, can't take them back, and you rank someone's site on page 1, and then it stays there for a few months, and they're finally like, oh well, why do I got to pay you anymore? Because I'm already on page 1, or I'm already ranking, I'm doing great, so I'm gonna just not pay you anymore and say fire you basically. And then they keep their rankings, and they never have to pay you again. But with this particular scenario, Clinton and the guy, parted ways, and the guy thinking he's going to keep his rankings. Well, Clinton took his links back, and now he's back making a lot less money. So that's another good reason why you want to build your own PBNs when you start doing client SEO, because they pay you, you keep them. They don't pay you, you take them away, and probably call you back. So I thought this was a really great example to show you guys, again, the power of PBN links, and more importantly, the power of owning them, being able to control them. And now he's got extra spots. Now he has what we call inventory to add links to other sites. You've only got so many spots per blog, per homepage. I, for one, stick to about 10 homepage posts with a maximum 2 links per post. Not always 2 links per post, but you only got about 20 links per blog homepage. Okay. All right. So let's see what's next here. Oh, here's just a screenshot. Excuse me. Another way of making money with PBNs and lead gen sites is pay-per-call. there's some services out there that you can do call transfers and charge, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 per call, and it's all being tracked. And here's one of my clients that has a big pay-per-call site, and here's another example of some of his calls going out. So I just wanted to throw that in there to see that you guys, you can own the property, you can own the money site, and sell the calls, and you're in complete control of everything, right? Their phone rings, you get paid, period. That's it. There's really nothing else to talk about when it comes to that site. You always are in control and always own it. It's a good business model. Really.
Tony, let's get to some of the Todd, let's get to some of these questions because we got tons here.
Yeah, that was it.
We are already at about an hour and 10 minutes, so it's
yeah, there's been a lot of questions. I think there's some people that have maybe been exposed to the private blog network strategy for the first time by these sort of questions that we're seeing here. So we'll go through some questions, and there might be some basic ones, guys, so that you can maybe just clarify some things for some people and help them to understand a little bit better, the value of having the private blog networks, which really, guys, is that you control all the links, okay? You control the links, and it's yours forever as long as you take care of them. But, there's multiple strategies that we use for tier 1 links. There's multiple strategies that we use for ranking. This is just one where you've got complete control, and if you do it properly, and you do it sort of wisely and spread your links over time, you've got something very, very valuable that you can use for so many different situations, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether you're doing local marketing, or whether you're selling your own products or whatever it may be, and you just got complete control. Anyway, so let's jump into some of these questions. And I've been trying to answer as many as I could by typing and stuff like that, but it was going too fast, even for me, to be able to keep up with. So there's a lot of questions about de-indexing, what you should do if you get a site de-indexed. Do you just drop it and move forward with another domain, or do you try and revive it?
I've brought de-indexed sites back to life. I wouldn't initially, if your site gets de-indexed, I wouldn't just go and start removing everything from it. I would sort of leave it alone for a little while. I think that removing your links right away is sort of a telltale sign.
Generally, I just move.
What was that, Clinton? I'm sorry, you cut out. Clinton, can you hear me?
On.
Clinton, can you hear me? Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Clinton was saying something. There's different schools of thought on it. I don't think there's any one exact, 100% way of handling it. I will say this though, that I have taken some de-indexed sites. I've taken them offline. I remove them from the server, and then I usually wait about a month, and then I bring them back up on another server or another IP, let's just say, and I don't link to money sites, but I stick my plugin Content Amigo, and I just let it run and let it post 1 or 2 articles a week, and I just let that run for a month. And I tell you what, most of the time they come back, they get re-indexed. Not all the time, but some of the time. As far as removing your links, I don't think you should do that right away because it's basically just giving you away 100%. I've heard other opinions on that as well. For me, I don't run into a lot of de-indexing problems, but I wasn't in the e-sig nicks either. Everyone just got toast in that niche. So
I'm back, by the way.
Okay, Clinton, you had some 2 cents to throw in there. I think everybody has a little bit of a different opinions on how they handle that. How do you see it?
So, how far did I get cut out? How far along did I
didn't hear a word.
Oh, really?
I heard one word, and then you were gone.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically what I was saying, when it comes to de-indexed PBNs, for the most part, I just leave them and move on. Because when it comes to penalty recovery, it's a pretty significant thing. The vast majority of people aren't going to know how to recover a website a normal website, let alone a PBN site, which is going to be harder. So generally, I leave a PBN alone.
Yeah, I would leave it alone too. And that's exactly what I said, Clinton. I think but over a period of time, like say a month or two later, I go ahead and take it offline and be like, it's dead now, and I leave it offline for maybe at least a month, maybe more, and then I stick Content Amigo on it, and I've seen them come back. You know, it's funny. I got a lot of test sites, right? I test a lot of different things, and yeah, I'll get some just random sites de-indexed that I'm testing on, and then eventually I'll see them de-indexed, and then I'll see them come back. So you know, and I'm like, oh, what did I do? How did I get it back? And then I go look, and it's like, oh, it's just been running Content Amigo for a month. I'm like, oh, that's great. So anyway.
Okay, let's see. There's so many questions here.
Yeah, there's a ton of questions here. I don't know if we can get time to get through all of them. Yeah, the thing is that they've got a massive sort of offer coming up as well. And what I mean by massive is not massive in amounts of money and stuff. It's just the information in there. So covers probably 99% of the questions that are coming in here. So I think we should jump over to the offer pretty soon. But let's take a couple of questions that if we can, in the meantime, and then we can give them the offer for the. There's a lot of people asking where's the buy link for specific tools that you mentioned there, so it's better that we jump over there pretty soon. So one of the big questions is coming in as well is about how many links to a money site from any specific PBN.
Yeah, so I don't create more than generally 15 or 20 posts from a PBN going out to different money sites. So, I mean, you can basically link to about 20 money sites from one single PBN. Now, there's some footprint issues in there, so you want to make sure you're not going all the same PBNs going to all the same money sites. But in terms of how many PBNs you can send to a single money site, I mean, you can send lots. Some cases I have 30 in some very competitive markets.
Okay. I think what the most common question that we're getting is how many links to the one money site from one PBN site.
Yeah, generally it's between 1 and 2. I wouldn't go more because you start getting, basically you don't get the same return.
No.
I'll tell you what I do, guys.
So,
What I do is when you're doing your posts, the ones that you're not linking to your money site from your PBN, take a video from YouTube that is linking to your money site. Okay, you can curate your own content this way, and it's always going to have that link inside the YouTube description. So if you're linking, say for example, you embed a video on your PBN site. That has got inside YouTube description a link going back to your money site. That's what I do. And it's a little bit sneaky, and I don't know if I did it in high volume whether that would be hurting me or not. But that's the kind of thing that I do, and I do the same with infographics as well. So if I've got an infographic on an infographic site that's got a link coming to my money site from the description in there, then you can do that way as well. So you're curating your own content as well.
Yeah, excellent way of doing it. You can even do it in the same post, have the video in the same post as your money site, and even having an infographic in there as well. Basically anything you can do, and you don't have to, you can add links to your social profiles as well from your PBNs.
Yeah, there's so many questions here. I think best that we explain what the offer is, because the offer is going to cover, about 99% of this, I'm sure. And I think it's a really good time to sort of jump over there, and there's a lot of people asking as well. So who wants to take that, Todd or Linton?
All right, I'll go ahead and switch to that slide now. And I want to, again, thank you for your time tonight. I know we went a little bit overboard, and I know I get a little long-winded when I start talking. It's hard for me to shut up sometimes. But I really try to get all these stuff out. So within Blog Network Blueprint, if you were to go to the site right now, you would see, there's obviously, an offer there on the front page for, some dollars, and then of course it's the typical funnel launch where there's 2 or 3 other offers inside there. So what we're doing for you guys on this call right now, if you were to go to the site today and purchase all of everything inside there, you can see here that the total would come out to about $322. Now, one of the things that I want to mention about this number is that the Facebook Mastermind group is $14 a month, okay? $14 a month to be in our Facebook Mastermind group. And we thought about making it free for all, free for everything, but I tell you what, guys, that's a lot of work for me and a lot of work for Clinton to answer questions all the time. So we got to put some sort of limitation on it because it's just a lot of work to keep that going. So $14 a month, it came out to, I can't remember, 14 times 12, whatever that is, because what we're going to do in this webinar exclusive is give you 1 year access to our Facebook Mastermind group, which gives you access to me, Clinton, and other more successful guys in there that have other tips and thoughts and things on how they're doing their PBNs, and everyone can join together and ask questions. We've been very successful at doing Facebook Mastermind groups. So that's part of the price inside this complete package. The live VIP group coaching, let me back up, go up there to the top, that has to do with Clinton and I will get on a webinar, I believe we said once every 2 weeks for, did I get this, what was
yeah, we're going to do it twice a month for 8 weeks.
That's right,
So
twice a week.
Yeah, four chances to basically ask us any questions you have, and to make sure everything's set up right. And we'll just answer. We'll answer all
your questions on that stuff. So that's part of the VIP coaching, and that's sort of an upsell inside the system there. The entire Blog Network Weapon Suite, that I've mentioned Content Amigo a few times. That's going to be one of the plugins that I really recommend that you use. You don't have to. It's up to you. How you see that or not, but I use it everywhere, and it works great. There's another plugin in there called CTR Max, and CTR Max allows you to sort of present a call to action on your PBN, and it can also be used on your money sites too, but it's a really cool little plugin that I developed a few years ago, and it allows me, because what you got to understand is that sometimes, and this happens, your PBN will outrank your money site for a while. Yeah. Right? When you put an article on this high-powered PBN, that thing will rank, right? But it has no call to action because it's just an article. So we use CTR Max to press a call to action on top of the visitor as soon as they hit our site, so we can monetize them. Okay, CTR Max is a way to monetize our PBNs. Okay, and then there's a couple of other pieces of software that we like to use inside the software side of things. WordPress tutorials, we've also got WordPress 4.0 tutorials. If you have any reservations using WordPress, if you're new, you're not sure how it all works, there's tutorials in there to fix it all up. And as I mentioned, we're going to get 1 year of the Facebook Mastermind group, and the complete package on that is $322. But since you've spent the last hour with us, we're going to give you this limited time pre-launch price of 54% off at $147. Okay, I think that's a pretty good price for all the things that you're getting. I wanted to be a little bit higher than that, but talking with Tony and Clinton, we settled on 150. We thought that was a good number, and I guess if somebody has the link, Tony.
Sorry.
I don't have it on the slide. I guess you could pop that there in the chat box, and hey, you guys are interested in learning some more intricate details. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention that the course is all video based. Okay, it's over the shoulder. It's watch me do this, watch me do that. A lot of the videos Clinton has put together. Like I said, I brought Clinton in to help me with this stuff because, hey, Clinton's a good teacher, guys. I mean, Clinton, he teaches very well. He's very patient. He's a lot slower than I am. I personally just think he's, in some instances, there's a lot of stuff there that, he gets it, first of all. I want to make that completely clear. Clinton gets everything. I would not have brought him on board if I didn't have 100% confidence in Clinton's ability to teach and coach and demonstrate. So he's in there, and he's got a lot of the videos that are going. He does a lot of the on-page stuff. I'm in there with the more technical details. So you're going to see a mixed match of both of us presenting, the how-tos, the how to set up, and all the nitty-gritty from top to bottom. And if there's anything we missed, we're doing the live VIP coaching sessions that answer all your questions. We'll, even if we see requests, if there's anything in there new that a lot of people are having trouble with, we'll make some new videos on that as well. So.
Yeah, if there's anything that's big or massive changes, I do new videos. I've got other courses that I do. I have a website design course that I do. Whenever, same thing with this. Whenever something big comes up or the same question gets asked, we'll just do a new video. We're not going to leave you guys in the dark if there's something big out there that we're not answering.
Okay, I put the link into the chat box, guys. You can see the link there for Blog Network Blueprint. And, there's so many little tools in there as well. And what I'll do is I'll put together a little bonus thing for you as well, for anybody who buys, and we will send that out to you as well via Todd's. Todd, I'll give you something to give to them as well, and you can give them a couple of WordPress plugins. I've got a new plugin that is about 90% finished, and it will help you to do some stuff that is really, really good for SEO on your sites, on your PBN sites as well, where you can manage your links for no follow, do follow, and scan all the links you've got in there and stuff like that. So I'll put some training together when that one is ready, and we'll bundle that in as well with the bonus offer.
Okay, great. That sounds cool. Always love new toys from you, Tony.
Okay, let's see if we've got any questions coming in now, and maybe
So one of the biggest questions is, how long is this offer available, Todd? Like, we're not leaving this up for very long, right? Because this is basically this is an exclusive to you guys. We haven't given this to anyone else.
Yeah, I'm not gonna,
It's not going to be very long. I think we're just a few days, aren't we? At most, I don't even know if we're even that long.
I'm gonna let Tony decide whether it's going to be 3 days or 5 days.
I think if you kept it up for 5 days, Todd, because of the new year and it's just gone Christmas as well, it gives people an extra couple of days as well if they're a little bit short of cash like most of us are at this time of year. So 5 days, I think, is a good offer for them.
Okay.
Okay.
So the 3rd, take it down on Saturday.
David Donald is asking, can you join when the webinar is done? Donald, if you look in the chat box, not the question box, but the chat box, you can see the link where you can go and purchase Blog Network Blueprint, and Todd will keep it open for 5 days. Okay, let me see what else is.
You know what? Let's go ahead and push it to the 5th on Monday, just to make it Monday, because weekend's kind of a bad time to make people have to do something, right? Who wants to, So we'll keep it open till the 5th. How about that?
Now, do we have something out for them right now, for those that get in today?
I like I said, that Facebook mastermind group, and I've done that before, and I'll show you guys a screenshot of, I'm being serious here. Look at this one thread that I started a little while back, and 976 comments on that, and that's a lot, but I understand how beneficial it was to everyone. It really was. It was really, a lot of people got a lot out of it, and people just kept on coming after it. But it is a lot of time consuming for me. But one of the things that I guess we could do is, offer, lifetime access to the Facebook Mastermind membership for a certain number of people that join today, I guess. But I really don't know, man. We've talked about it a lot. Clinton's more on board with getting it.
I like lots of people in there.
I know, but it's you get tagged a lot too. I mean, I can see. Oh, okay, I see me tagged once right here, but that's cool. But I think I'm okay with it. For those of you that come in tonight, I mean, we'll limit it. We'll say the first 25 people that want to come in tonight, we will give them lifetime Facebook Mastermind, not just 1 year, but just forever on this Facebook Mastermind group.
Can't do more? There's a lot of people on this call. That's like, you sure? Can we do more?
20, well,
let's go more.
I mean, 25 is a pretty good number, isn't it?
I don't know.
Take a look.
There's a lot of people. We get a lot of people getting in here. I want to see more people in there.
Yeah.
Let's do 40.
40?
Yeah. I have no life. I can help. I'm good.
40 forever. Okay. All right then. All right. I tell you what. Then let's just do that. I don't have time to argue. We'll just do the first 40 people. They come in through Tony's offer right here. We'll give them lifetime Facebook Mastermind membership. And that means they won't even be sent a reminder to renew or anything. It'll just be unlimited.
Todd, would you mind talking about the tools that they're getting? I'm seeing a few questions about the tools for building the PBN sites. Would you mind to cover that again? The Content Amigo and the other tools that are there?
Okay. They're WordPress plugins, and Content Amigo is a pretty simple little plugin that allows us to put in a list of, like, what I do is I go to Google Keyword Planner and I get 800 keywords from there, and then I pop in the 800 keywords, and then what Content Amigo does is you can tell it how often you want to schedule a post, kind of randomly. There's no set time. It's kind of a random type of thing. But you can say, okay, somewhere between 48 and 96 hours I want to get a post on. Okay, so what it'll do is it'll go into your 800 keyword list, and first of all, it won't use one that it's already used previously, and then it'll go through it, it'll pick a keyword, and then it'll go out, it'll scan the internet for some content, and then it'll bring it back, and then it'll spin it up if you want to use a spinner. If you don't want to use a spinner, we're going to go ahead and change it up a little bit for you by using the Google Translator. We're going to translate it like out to Spanish and then back to English. That's what I typically do because it doesn't screw with it very much, and it makes it really, really readable. And then it just posts content into your blog to keep, like I said, every time you post content to your blog, it pings the search engines and they all come and they all traverse your leads. And it also makes it look like it also makes your site look alive. Okay, I mean, if you don't show your site any love, watch your Google show your site any love. So it makes it look like someone's sort of in there doing some things with it, and then the spiders come and they traverse your links and they hit your money site and they go, okay, yeah, wow, this link's still here, this money site's still good, we're going to keep these rankings going strong. So I really recommend Content Amigo, using that for your PBNs, and I mean, you can use it for any site you want. I mean, I do have some people that put it on the back end of their money sites. I actually got one crazy client of mine, been with me for years, but he's like this crazy old man scientist. I mean, he's like 60-something, but boy, he is not scared to push any buttons and do anything and do so many crazy things. And I tell you what, he hits on so many crazy ideas that you would look at him and go, man, there's just absolutely no way that will ever work, and it does. Right? It's great when he gives me a call. It's like, look what I did, and I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, they're saying how that works, but it does. But he does some things too, and he started using he started backfilling money sites with generated content, and all of his rankings went up. And he didn't link anything to them. He didn't link out from them. He didn't link to the home pages. He just generated backfilled content using Content Amigo on like subdomains and subdirectories, and installed blogs and site of blogs on top of blogs, and all of his rankings went up. So Content Amigo is the main plugin that you'll get with this, and I like it a lot. Okay, enough about that one. There's also another plugin called CTR Max. CTR means click-through rate. You want to maximize, it's basically maximizing your click-through rate. It does a lot of different things. You can put affiliate products in there. It interfaces with Amazon, eBay, and Commission Junction. You can also put HTML in there. You can also put anything you want, basically. And what it does is, its primary focus is you can set it up so that, say someone comes to your website and they're carrying a keyword on their back for 10-inch heels or some 10-inch heels. Well, the plugin sees that keyword that they're carrying with them, and it pops in an affiliate offer that's an exact match keyword, right? That's the best way to explain it. So that's one way to make money from your PBNs is popping affiliate offers on them. Oh, and the other thing about it is, the greatest thing about it is it's invisible to Google. Right? They can't see that you're popping, you're presenting your visitors with an offer. The other cool thing about it is it's not a pop in, a pop under, pop over, pop under. It's not any of that annoying crap. It blends into the page. Right, you don't even know that it's most of us are trained that as soon as something pops up on us, man, we can't exit fast enough, right? It doesn't even blink once, and we're so fast, like gone, But if it's on the page, if it's an ad on the page, well, there's nothing you can do about it except read it, right? You still read it, banner blindness and all that stuff, but still, it's still there. So, so CTR Max is a great way to monetize any site. To be honest, it's not just for PBNs; it's for any site. It's been used. I've been using it for like I said, a few years now. We did a little launch. I did a little launch on it back in the day, a few years ago, and there are some people out there that are out there using it and still having it. I've thought about relaunching it again as a plugin, And
Todd, just to clarify, some of the people that I guess aren't quite understanding, but these tools that he just talked about, CTR Max and Content Amigo, these are part of this package that we're offering tonight. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You get this package, but it's not just Blog Network Blueprint. It's not just the Facebook group. It's not just the coaching, but it's also this suite of tools. And these are what I use on my sites. They're big. They're huge. Works great.
Yeah, if you went to the funnel right now, I think the software package, I've got it set at $67 or $97, I think. If you buy them standalone, they're $37 each plugins or more. So it's a pretty good deal, actually. It's lifetime unlimited. So it's actually a pretty good deal for the amount you can use it. I'm trying to think what else I have in there. I think I might have LinkFoo. LinkFoo is a link management system that allows you to put links under your content. It's more of an advanced tool for someone with a rather large amount of PBNs. I wouldn't recommend someone using LinkFoo who's just starting out or with a limited number of blogs, but I'll tell you what, when you got a big empire going and you put LinkFoo into action, it really does some damage. I mean, we're talking about ranking a homepage for 10 cities. I got a lot of Los Angeles local services that it's ranking on page 1 for. But again, it's pretty advanced. You have to be careful with it. You can't use it unless you're, you're up there. We'll talk more about that. I don't want to reveal too much about what it does because it's one of my secret weapons.
You got some people asking about the Spider Spanker and the Hacker Spanker. Is that one of the upsells there, Todd?
You know what? I didn't put Spider Spanker in this package.
Okay.
I don't think Hacker Spanker's in there, is it?
No. The thing about those two products are they're pretty heavy duty. They require here's the thing about those two products is that they are used so much that we get quite a bit of every day we deal with somebody on those plugins because man, they are just used so heavily. It's not like these plugins that you buy you never use. I mean, sometimes, and look, any plugin on any WordPress on any host can have a problem. Okay, it just depends. I deal with it every day. I own a hosting company. I see different things all the time. You just never know what you're up against. And the funny thing about those plugins, man, I mean, sometimes some guys are like, it works on 12 sites and it won't work on one. I'm going to kill you unless you make it work today on this one site. I'm like, whoa, chill your jets, pal. Hold on, we'll get right to you. I feel like someone's twisting my arm right now, to be honest.
I think the question was, is there a special rate for a bundle for people who buy or something like that? From Brian, basically what he's asking. Anyway, I'll let you decide if you want to do something like that later. It's not a big deal. Just thought I'd bring it up since it was in there. So I think we probably can just about wrap up now. So what do you think? Do you want to carry on more or take more questions or wrap up? Or
I'm good with questions. I want to call out a few names here. Brian, thanks for joining. You are now officially a unlimited lifetime member of our Facebook group. Congratulations. I see Mario, congratulations. You are safe. You are in. Biddy, you are in. Christopher, you are in. David, you are in. Patrick, you are in. Robert, you are in. Good job. Matthew, congratulations. I see quite a few names here. Haven't done quite a count yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. We're about halfway there. So there's going to be a few more guys taking these spots on this Facebook on the lifetime part of Facebook Mastermind. I'll be watching that. Tony, if we need to go, we need to cut this off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not in a hurry. If you're happy to take some more questions, let's do it.
I think if you could, I see a question here on what's the offer? How do I back up this?
Go hit backspace.
The backspace, is that how it is?
Yeah, and one more. There you go.
Okay. This is we're offering this at $147, 54% discount for being with us tonight. We've also decided to, what this includes is 1 year of our Facebook Mastermind group. It's normally $14 a month because we just got to limit that. It's just the way it goes. We're pretty busy, but we don't mind helping. But there's got to be a point there. Now I think what did we say, Clinton? 25 people. If the first 25 fast action bonuses would be
plus the bonus 15.
Unlimited Facebook Mastermind. We won't cut you off after a year.
Well, you wanted 25, and I pumped you to 40.
Oh, okay.
Stop trying to.
Right.
You know you want 40.
That's right. All right. Okay. Well, getting. Let me see
close.
here. Yeah. A few more guys. So I forgot. Somebody just asked that question. So.
You need to call Gerald's
Gerald wants to hear his name.
Gerald really wants him to be called out.
You're good, Gerald. Don't worry. You're good.
I have a hard time reading these questions. They're like in this tiny little box. Do you guys?
Yeah, you can take it out. You can sort of expand it if you click that little not the cross, but the one next to it over on the right hand side, where it's got on the same line where it says questions. I have to do it and I have to expand it a little bit as well.
Oh, okay.
I put it in my second screen.
Oh yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, cool. As everyone's probably aware now, I'm pretty much of a webinar idiot, so there you go.
we leave them in the dungeon coding all the awesome tools.
Yeah, I can't. I have a real hard time with the simplest things. It's funny.
Kevin's asking what we use to track and manage your PBNs. I have an awesome spreadsheet that I've developed. And just so you know, I have an engineering degree, so spreadsheets are like mandatory for engineers.
And guys, I've seen him when we share a screen and work together in Excel. I'm like, holy crap, moly, man! How do you make it do all that?
Oh yeah, and my spreadsheet is available to anyone that picks up Blog Network Blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because I remember when we were rewriting the course, I was like, oh yeah, make sure we get that spreadsheet I got in there to, because it's cool, because I developed one a couple years ago. And then Clinton's like, oh, well, I have one. I'm like, yeah, I know, but, make sure that one I have is in there, right? He goes, well, let me just show you this one. I'm like, oh, okay, what is it? And then I was like, whoa, that is cool, man. So you guys are going to get a really cool pre-developed Excel spreadsheet, informational management. I don't know if that was, it might have been your exact question there. I don't know who asked that question exactly, but
you just asked what we use to track and manage our PBNs, and that's what I use. It works great.
Okay. Yeah. You may want to look. There's some tools out there to help you keep everything updated as far as technically managed. So.
There's a lot of questions, people asking if they can, if you can give them a special deal on the Spider Spanker and things. There's about 3 or 4 people asking. So maybe if you can take that kind of question, at least in the Facebook group or something for the people who purchase, then
yeah. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. All right, guys, that's fair. If I tell you what, if whoever comes in tonight, I'll even throw it in with this 40. The same thing we have going on here. I will allow a $40 discount on Spider Spanker, which basically means you can avoid buying the classic version in order to upgrade the Pro. You really want the Pro version of Spider Spanker. In my opinion, it does a couple of great things. More than one, more than two, 3 or 4 more awesome things in the classic. I guess I'm trying to think of them.
You need the Pro. It's not even a question of should you get it. It's you need it. Frankly, I think it's almost time that we scrap the classic and just go straight Pro, because the Pro is heavy.
Well, I mean, the classic version is works does its job. It's just you usually want to share settings across your entire empire with one click. That's the Pro cool part. The other thing that's cool about Pro is that it's integrated with Project Honeypot, so it allows you to stop the known hacker and spammers that come into your site. So those are 2 really cool things. Blocking certain countries is always great. I'm actually going to put an update out. I thought of something yesterday, and by default, I think I'm going to allow you to be like, what country do you want traffic from? This country, this country, this country.
Just figured that out today.
Yeah, we'll block everybody else. That's what we do. Like default, like the first question it asks you, like, what country does your traffic come from? Like, who do you want to see your site? I mean, the Google bot, this Bing bot, the good search engine spiders are a given, right? They'll always be allowed in. But then, who's your money people, right? Who's beneficial to come to your site? Because that's what it is these days. It's like, man, if you don't block just the riffraff and the ilk out there, they do nothing but just try to cause you harm, in a lot of instances. And me running a hosting company, guys, I see this stuff down to the nitty-gritty. Isn't that right, Clinton?
Yeah, well, we're dealing with one of my sites being attacked today. And
Clinton's gone after some big fish. He's gone after some big boy terms. And
they don't like me.
Yeah, and that's
they don't like being outranked.
When you start going where the money is, you better be prepared to fight. I'm serious. It's not always like that. But when you start kicking people off of the first page of Google where they're making money, you got to be prepared to fight, and Clinton's experiencing that right now. But that's all right. We're winning the game. We're winning.
Kicking
There's it's just technological defenses that we have to put up, and things like that. And we have to protect ourselves, But no one can force you offline if you know what you're doing. But yeah, so we're having fun with one of Clinton's sites right now.
Gerald's asking if there's the link for the Spider Spanker. So just so you guys know, we had no intention of giving a discount for Spider Spanker tonight. This wasn't going to come up. So, but because it has, and you know, we did sort of twist Todd's arm pretty good. There's no link for it yet. He'll get that to you. So
yes, it was you, Joseph.
Yes, Joseph. Thanks. Good arm twisting. But it's not a rubber arm. Trust me, it's not a rubber arm.
Yeah, I can't just put it in there, guys. I mean, like I tried to be funny about it or whatever, but I'm serious. I mean, people get really upset whenever their site doesn't spider spank. I mean, I've never seen it before. It's like, you know, a lot of times you sell 500 copies of a plugin and, you know, 8 people install it, right? And I don't know, for whatever reason. I'm exaggerating, of course. But, you know, man, with spider spank, I get threatened when that thing doesn't work. So it's like I can't ever just, you know, let it go because, you know, I did a thing one time where I'm like, okay, everybody gets one free install. Oh, no, I can't do that again because, you know, I have to have a life. And you know, I mean, it works 95% of the time, but 5% of sites is a lot of sites in the end. And, you know,
there are some, you know, just so you guys know, if you guys pick up Spider Spanker, there are some hosting companies that don't by default run some of the things that
IonCube.
Yeah.
IonCube. I go over and over in FAQs and support sections and stuff, but IonCube's a big deal, and also the new thing of the month is to go and buy dollar hosting. Okay, please don't go and buy dollar hosting.
No.
Don't do it. I know that certain people whose names start with B says do it. Don't do it. Because you're just going to get killed. I mean, you're gonna have downtime. You're gonna get something's gonna happen, and it's not gonna work out. I promise. You know, it's not gonna run Spider Spanker. You're gonna get mad at me.
I tested a number of them, and I'll tell you, I just ended up deleting all of I think all but one of the discount hosting companies, and just went back to SEO hosting. Good, like ones that are decent. I mean, yeah, it's gonna cost you a little bit more money, but the headache and is a major difference, because when your PBN goes down, you'll see it in the rankings, and you don't want your money sites to drop ever. So, you know, it's almost as important as having your money site on good hosting.
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you don't want to use, if you subscribe to the theory that SEO hosting is going to get yourself de-indexed, by all means, please spend $10 a month per whatever other host out there. You know, spend $100 a month for 10 sites or whatever. But you know, if you want to spend the extra money to do that, that's perfectly fine. But do not try to get away with spending $10 a month for hosting 10 PBNs. Just not going to work out for you very well. So, hey, I'll give you that one, Daryl. I'll try to drop that one in there. I love.
I was doing something in the background there. I've just put together some ideas, some links for a Google Doc that we kind of did in the webinar a couple of weeks ago, and it's some resources for finding and using PBN domains, and also for getting some content done, really good content done for private blog networks as well, from a guy in one of our Facebook groups as well. So if you joined any of my Facebook groups, you'll find a guy called Sean Kelly in there. What I'll do is I will share the link in here for this, because it's got some good places where you can either find PBNs or you can analyze PBNs. It's just some tools, some free, some paid. There's no affiliate links in there, so you can just you know, go through them and have a look. And this is stuff I'm using right now that I find quite useful. Okay, so I'll just put that into the chat box link. There's some good stuff in there. If I can find the chat box link. Okay, here we go. There we go. So there's a Google Doc there, guys. You can just access that and click through, and you can see the different tools. And these are the tools I'm using right now. Okay, so
Hey, Daryl Lishka did sorry about calling out your last name there, bro. But you asked for the link to my hosting company, but I don't know if I sent it to you correctly.
I don't think so. I don't see it
Yes. So can someone else do it? Hey, you know what? It's bizbuilderhosting.com. bizbuilderhosting.com. That's cool. It's a good service, man. I'll hook you up. I'm not the cheapest. Don't want to be. Never will be. But I'm not the most expensive either. But yeah.
But the amount of support you'll get, you won't get. Trust me, if any of you have ever done support with HostGator or GoDaddy or anyone else, you know you're going to get some. Trying to be nice here. Some tech guy that doesn't really know anything about tech. But when you get BizBuilder support, you get Marco and Todd, and they both know what they're talking about, and they're both going to help you, and they're going to work until they get it done. And they're not just going to ask you. They don't just have like a list of standard answers, and if it doesn't fall in those answers, they don't know what to do. They actually know what to do. So
Thank you, Clinton.
you're welcome. There's a plan.
Yeah. Kevin asked about 301s. That's yeah. You know, guys, HostGator was sold recently. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they were sold to that company that's buying up all of them. They spent $1 billion buying up all the big hosting companies, and that's why, you know, HostGator used to be pretty awesome when Mr. Oxley Brent ran it. But since they sold, it's just the way it goes. I think they're called IBE, International Business something. They bought all the big hosts, and that's why HostGator's gone down so bad so fast.
Same with Bluehost.
And that's the other one. Yeah, you can Wikipedia who you just Google who bought HostGator, and there's a whole Wikipedia article on that company that bought them all up, and just they're all just turned into bad stuff.
It's a lot harder to find good hosting, I can tell you. As a website designer for over 17 years, yeah, that's probably one of the most frustrating things, is finding good hosting.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I've tried a lot. Yeah. You need your site to be up. People want to see your stuff.
Okay, guys. Well,
How we
I guess
doing
we should shut this down. This has gone on for 2 hours. It's at least half an hour or more over what we initially expected. But hey, I had fun. I could actually, you know what? For everyone that jumps in, man, we're gonna have some fun.
And I gotta go play some hockey here.
We're gonna do a lot more of this. We're gonna do a lot more talking it up on some webinars, and there'll probably be some 2-hour stuff, and we'll be hitting it up in the Facebook group too. We've got room for a few more guys for the fast action tonight. We're trying to get to 40. Looks like we're almost there. So. Yeah, so anyway, I had a great time. Clinton, had a great time with you. Tony, thanks for having us, man. We
Thanks so much, Tony.
Appreciate it. Had a good time, and I guess, hey, all you guys that come in, man, let's just have some more fun. Let's get after it.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Bye, Tony.
Bye.